Hey, joining us from Addiction Recovery Care, we have Jason Merrick here, the Vice President in Program Development. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's my pleasure, Susan. Thanks for having me.
Well, I know, Jason, you're going to be walking us through something that we all should know how to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a life-saving measure. So here in a moment, we'll talk about that. But walk us through, I mean, what are some of the ways that we would know if somebody is in the middle of an overdose?
So
what would we need to be looking for?
we should all be very excited about saving lives. And at Addiction Recovery Care, that is paramount to our mission, is to get out there and keep people alive long enough for them to get the help they need and deserve. What you want to look for in the event of an overdose, obviously this person's going to be in distress, right? They're going to show, there's going to be symptoms of respiratory depression. There's going to be shortness of breath or no breath at all. You might hear a raspy sound, like a gurgling sound. They'll likely be unresponsive or unconscious. There's going to be lack of blood flow, so discoloration in fingernails and lips first, and then the skin will start to turn to a purplish or grayish skin tone. Some of those symptoms, and then ultimately this individual will go into cardiac arrest, they'll go into a coma, and then fatality occurs rather quickly. So urgency is
we need
paramount.
To act fast.
Yeah, we need to act fast.
Exactly. So one thing that is saving lives, Narcan. Talk about this.
Narcan is an FDA-approved medication that is approved for men, women, children, elderly. It is safe, it is effective, it is non-toxic. It doesn't have any mind or mood-altering qualities to it. So, and it doesn't actually purge the drugs from the system. It just temporarily blocks the receptors that opioids bond to, restoring the breathing. So it keeps people breathing long enough for them to metabolize or for these substances to be evacuated from the body and get them into some kind of a treatment situation where they can be helped.
Okay, well, let's say that somebody has not had training on this before, Jason. I mean, easy to use, or does it come with instructions?
What do we do?
How does it work?
It is very simple to use.
Do you mind to walk us through it?
I don't mind to walk you through it. On the packaging, there's instructions all over the place, but obviously you're going to want to look for some of those symptoms, right? You're going to determine this person is unresponsive. You can do things like, hey, are you okay? You want to shout their name. You want to try to wake them up. You can also do what's called a sternum rub, where you make a fist with your knuckles pointed out, and you kind of rock that back and forth on the sternum bone. That produces a painful stimulation that if they do not respond to, then you know that that person is unresponsive, and then we need to go into a three-step process. Okay,
because they would let you know if they
say,
felt
ouch,
this.
that hurts, leave me alone, I'm okay. And then you would know, okay, it's not time for Narcan yet. We need to keep observation, but it's not time to hit them with Narcan. Three steps. Call 911. Perform rescue breathing or CPR based on your level of training. And then administer Narcan. That's simple.
So let's say you've already done the first two. The Narcan. Nose, mouth, where do you put it?
So you'll see here in this box there are 2 doses of Narcan. They come in these easy to use devices, and the medication is stored up in a little vial up here. It comes out in a fine mist. It fits very, very nicely between your fingers and your thumb here, and you suppress the plunger and it comes out in a mist just like this. It goes up into the nasal cavity, so you insert that up the nostril. You suppress that plunger, goes right into the blood through the little capillaries in your nasal cavity. It goes right where it needs to go. The person doesn't even need to be breathing for this stuff to work. It goes right up into the nasal cavity, gets into the bloodstream, goes and attacks those receptors, reversing the potentially fatal overdose situation.
Do you have to do it in both nostrils, or just as long as you get it in one?
You just pick one and go. You pick one and go. And what's really important is after you administer naloxone or Narcan, you want to stay with them, right? You want to continue this rescue breathing, the CPR process, until either help shows up or they start breathing on their own. It can take up to 2 minutes for this stuff to work, to get where it needs to go, and to reverse the overdose. So you might need to use another dose. So you want to, and it only works for about 30 to 90 minutes. So you may need another dose if you're, out in the country, if you're far away from services, if it takes the paramedics a while to get there. You got to keep them under close observation, because you might need that second dose to keep them breathing in time for help to get there.
Now, I know a lot of people carry this on hand day to day, but if people are watching and they're like, look, I have a loved one, or I just never know what situation I'm going to end up in
that situation.
Yes. How do they? I mean, can they get this? Is there somewhere that only certain places carry it?
It is widely available. I'll tell you, your health departments will have it, carry it, and distribute it. Pharmacies, local pharmacies should have it and be able to give it out. You can get it from your primary care docs, from the hospitals. You can also come to ARC centers, and we'll provide you with Narcan. We can get you a lot of the nonprofit organizations, the syringe access and exchange programs, stuff like that. They'll all have Narcan, and usually it's at no cost.
Right.
But if it is a cost, and you're insured, it'll be your copay.
Okay.
But typically, one box of 2 doses is going to be about $75 if you have to pay out of pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we just saw how simple it is to use.
Wow.
I mean, save a life.
Right. And I mean, being equipped with knowledge in that situation, so that way it's not, you know, a panic. You know what to do, and hopefully can in turn help save a life. Yeah. Jason, this has been critical information. Thank you so much for sharing it with us and with our viewers today. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Plan